Happy Friday, everybody! Here we go on the next book. Hopefully you were able to watch yesterday's video where we finished the other one. Such a good ending. So here we go. Project Z. Attack of the Zombies. Here we go. Ooh, looks like they're at the movie theater. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to read the back of it for you because it would give a little bit of a clue away. Because I just read it and I was like, not gonna give it away. Here we go, though. Colton, you've already read a little bit of this first part here, so you know exactly what's going on, but that's all right. All right, so here it gives us a list of characters that we've already met, so I'm gonna read through that just a little bit so we can get our memory refreshed. Arnold, we know who he is, says a zombie who now lives among humans, formerly known as Norbus Clacknozzle. Jenny, Arnold's adopted mom, the nicest person you'll ever meet. Bill, Arnold's adopted dad, also the nicest person you'll ever meet. Lester, Arnold's adopted brother, who took some getting used to. He would say the same about Arnold. Evan, Kiki, and Sarah Ann, Arnold's pals. Ross and Brett, Arnold's not exactly pals. Commander Jensen, the commander of the United States Marshal Services. Friendly. Dr. Grassmere, the head of Project Z. Unfriendly. Azalea Burstis and Frumpus Clacknozzle, Arnold's former podmates at Project Z. Mrs. Huggle, Arnold's teacher, very sensitive. Nurse Raposo, the school nurse, very supportive. And Coach Hank, the gym teacher, very loud. Prologue. I've been through a lot in my short non-life. I was built by the U.S. government in a secret laboratory for an undercover operation called Project Z. The program's goal was to create zombies in a secret laboratory, then have them attack American citizens so that those citizens would come together to fight a common enemy. Us. That didn't sound like a lot of fun, so I escaped from the lab. I was eventually rescued by a nice family who immediately, and for my own protection, made me pretend to be a human boy in elementary school. Yes, that was as difficult as it sounds. People thought I was weird. Well, can you blame them? When I made a best friend, it turned out to be a kid whose dad was in charge of the people who were trying to capture me. The dad ended up being really nice, but the authorities finally tracked me down anyway. They tricked me into going back to the lab by saying I was going to help humans and zombies get along, but all they really wanted me to do was turn us into soldiers to fight in wars, which also didn't sound like a lot of fun. So I tried to escape again and ended up back with my nice family. But I left behind the other zombies who were still stuck in the lab, which made me sad. So needless to say, it's been complicated, and it's been stressful, and it's been really hard sometimes. But nothing, and I mean nothing, has been as complicated, stressful, and hard as watching my human friend Kiki hold hands with the most obnoxious boy in the entire school, Ross Klepsaw. Ew. Technically, it's true that zombies can't feel pain, but that one hurt. Part 1, Arnold. The French fry game. Lunch was the worst. The rest of the day wasn't so bad, but lunch, that time of day when every kid is basically saying to the world, these are my people and they're who I will be spending my precious hard-earned downtime with during a brutal day of learning and reading and writing, was really hard. Because I had to sit there watching Kiki and Ross giggle and gawk and make googly eyes at each other and pretend that I didn't care. Actually, I should say we had to sit there because my friend Evan, who was right next to me. Don't get me wrong, though. It's not like I liked Kiki, and by like, I mean like. No, that wasn't it at all. I'm pretty sure zombies don't think in terms of that kind of like. But I was still trying to accept the fact that one of my first and best human friends I'd ever made was now in what could theoretically be called a romantic relationship with the one boy who tormented me more than any other human during my early days at Bernard J. Frumstein Elementary School. Sorry, I tend to use big words when I'm upset. I promise never to use the word theoretically again, or romantic for that matter. Ugh. Instead, I'll just use something more age-appropriate like squishy. So yes, I suppose I was a little unhappy about the whole Kiki Ross situation, but it's not like I lost sleep over it. And not just because I don't sleep. I cared, but not that much. But Evan, on the other hand, Evan was a different story. He was taking it much harder than I was. I think maybe because he did, in fact, feel some of those squishy feelings about Kiki. Not that he would ever admit it, of course. I love how they use squishy feelings. Ugh, gross. We were sitting at lunch one day, and it was the same old story. Everyone was enjoying their sandwiches, some kids, or salad pizza, or pizza slices, most kids, or fish sticks, a few kids, or tofu salad, just Evan, or jelly beans, me, or whatever it was they were eating and chatting and laughing and occasionally throwing stuff and generally acting like sixth graders. Except for me and Evan. We were acting like grouchy old men. Ross, Kiki, and a few other friends were playing a game they called, How Many French Fries Can You Balance on Your Nose? Ross was a reigning champ. This particular day, he was up to 7, which, when you think about it, is actually pretty impressive. No one else had managed to pile on more than 4. And then all of a sudden, Kiki got hot. Somehow, she managed to stack up fries so high, you couldn't even see her eyeballs. And not one French fry fell. None of us had ever seen anything like it. Even I managed to emerge from my general glumness to marvel at her accomplishment. Evan, look, I said, nudging his elbow. Kiki's on a roll. I don't care, he said, refusing to take his eyes from his food. Piling french fries on your nose is so dumb. I mean, like, what is this, kindergarten? It didn't seem like the right time to remind Evan that we had all played a very similar pile food on your face game at his birthday party last year. But hold on. It did seem like the right time to remind Evan that his birthday was coming up again pretty soon. Hey, Evan, isn't your birthday coming up again pretty soon? I guess, he mumbled. But I'm not having a party this year. Well, seriously, why not? 'Cause I don't feel like it. Then, without another word, he got up, put his tray away, and left the cafeteria. Oh boy, this was worse than I thought. I started to follow him, but then walked back to watch the end of the competition. It turned out that Kiki's stack had reached a grand total of 14 French fries, a record that was sure to stand until the end of time. Or was it? Because Ross, who disliked losing almost as much as he disliked zombies, at least until he got to know them, was not about to give up. Last round! Crowed Kiki, reveling in her sure victory. Ross did some body stretches as if he were in an athletic contest. Oh, I got this, he said. There's not a doubt in my mind you're going down. Putting French fries on his nose. He's got a big nose. That's probably why he can fit so many French fries. This French fry right here almost looks like a finger. Gross. He grabbed the plate of fries, tipped his head back and motioned for his friend Brett to start placing French fries on his nose. The gathering crowd, which now included most of the 6th grade, started chanting along with each fry. Even the teachers and lunch workers craned their necks to see what was even going on. 4! 5! 6! 7! I glanced over toward the cafeteria exit and happened to see Evan, who hadn't quite left after all. He'd poked his head back in, waiting to see how it ended, just like the rest of us did. 9! 10! 11! And then, in the blink of an eye, exactly the way most momentous world events happen, the French fries all came tumbling down off Ross's nose and back onto the tray with a soggy plop. They were pretty damp and gross by then. Gross. Soggy French fries. That sounds disgusting. The contest was over. Kiki had dethroned the reigning champion. She thrust her arms in the air as the crowd's chant turned her. Kiki! 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 Ross bowed before the new champion. Congratulations. It couldn't have happened to a nicer person. And then from one second to the next, Ross kissed Kiki right on the cheek. Ooh. And Kiki kissed him back. Right there in front of everyone. Well, technically not in front of everyone. Evan had disappeared. Again. Ooh, they like each other. The power of cupcakes. After a hearty round of congratulations and a victory lap around the cafeteria by Kiki, it was time for everyone to actually finish eating their lunches. And it was also time to mention the topic I'd been waiting patiently to bring up. I sat down next to Kiki before everyone else could. Hey, you guys, I have an idea. Ross slapped me on the back like we were old pals, even though we were new pals, if you can call hanging around with someone because your best friend has a really annoying crush on them being a pal. Zombie ideas are the best ideas, right, Arnie? Yep, he called me Arnie. I'm no more of a fan of it than you are. At least it was better than Ombi the Zombie, that his other nickname used to be for me. Sure, if you say so. What's up? Kiki asked me. She gave me the same half smile she'd given me on my very first bus ride to school, when I had nowhere to sit until she slid over to make room for me. I will always be grateful to her for that. So grateful, in fact, that I was able to forgive her for what she did next at the lunch table, which was giggle at something Ross whispered to her. I waited until she stopped giggling and then said, Evan's birthday is coming up. He just told me he doesn't really want to celebrate this year, but I thought it might be fun if we threw him a surprise party. To kind of cheer him up. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but he hasn't exactly been in the greatest mood. Kiki's eyes snared. Of course I've noticed. Her head swiveled around. Where is Evan, anyway? He left. I shrugged. Guess he wasn't fascinated with the French fry contest as everyone else was. What's that supposed to mean? Kiki knew we didn't approve of her liking Ross. At first she thought it was funny, but as time went on, she found it more and more annoying. Pardon me for having fun at lunch, she added. I decided to plow ahead. So what do you think? About the surprise party, I mean. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Ross chimed in. I really like that little guy, and he's definitely had a raw deal with that fake leg and all. It's not fake, I corrected him. It's prosthetic, and it works just fine. Evan had cancer as a little boy, and one of his legs had to be amputated. But he moves so easily with his prosthetic leg that it's almost unnoticeable, except when people like Ross bring it up for no reason. Okay, sure, whatever, Ross said. Either way, let's definitely throw him a party. I'm all into that. Ross talked like he thought he was in high school, which he most definitely was not. Great, I said. Kiki, will you help me plan this? Of course. Do you want to have it at my house? She said. No, I think we should do it at my house. There's a little more room in the yard. I didn't want to say the real reason, which was that I wasn't sure if I could get Evan to go over to Kiki's house for any reason. She gave me her brightest, let's all be friends smile. Yeah, sounds good. At the end of lunch, I went and found Sarah Ann. She was sitting with Mrs. Frawley, the aide, who helps her during the school day. We're going to plan a surprise birthday party for Evan. Can you help me? Sarah Ann pointed at the letters on her board, which was how she communicated with people. Of course. Thanks, I told her. Maybe we can meet up after school tomorrow or the next day? Yup. Sarah Ann pointed at the table where Kiki, Ross, and a bunch of other people were still sitting and laughing, then went back to her letterboard. What are we going to do about all that? I shrugged. We're going to invite them, of course, and hope for the best. Uh-oh, she said. Mrs. Frawley, who was observing this whole conversation, leaned over. Can I give you kids one word of advice? She said. We both nodded. Cupcakes, said Mrs. Frawley very seriously. When you said one word, you meant one word, Sarah Ann said. Mrs. Frawley chuckled. Well, here's the second word for you. Chocolate cupcakes. What about them? I asked. Nothing cuts through tension like baked goods, she said, extremely serious. If things get tense and it looks like the party's going south, break out the chocolate cupcakes. Works every time. I made a mental note to have plenty of chocolate cupcakes on hand for such occasion. I'd probably have some vanilla and strawberry ones too, just to be safe. Oh boy, and I think I'm going to stop there. Ooh, such a good start to this new book. Ross and Kiki. Ooh, boy. And they're going to try and plan a birthday party. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Okay. The title of the next one is called A Surprising Development. Ooh, I wonder what that's going to be. And I wonder what's up with, what's his name? Evan. He's so upset. I wonder what his deal is. Do you think he's jealous of Kiki and Ross? Do you think that something else is happening? Let me know what you think. I don't know. Never know. All right, guys. Have a happy Friday and a great weekend. Bye.